Now, looking at this countdown, 10 seconds that pass for me are 10 seconds that pass for you. Now, this might lead you to the assumption that time is absolute. It moves at the same rate for the both of us.
Yes, in this case, time is moving at the same rate for the both of us. Assuming that you're sitting down or standing like I am, we're both moving at the same velocity. Now you must be thinking, what velocity is he talking about? Aren't we both stationary? Well, actually, we're never really stationary. You see, the Earth is constantly orbiting around the Sun at a constant speed of 30 kilometers per second. Now that is really fast, but we never really feel it. Now what if the both of us start moving at different velocities? What if I start moving at a much higher velocity? What if I start approaching the speed of light? Will time still be absolute? Will it still move at the same rate for the both of us, or will something change? Now to be able to understand special relativity, need to know what light exactly is. Light has wave-like properties. Now what is a wave? A wave is a disturbance traveling through a medium. Now what is disturbance in medium? Well, in this case, the initial disturbance is the eraser, and as I drop it into this bowl of water, the water becomes the medium. The sun is constantly giving Earth light, and as light has wave-like properties, people assume that light also travels through a medium, and that medium was soon named the luminiferous ether. Then came one of the most important experiments in understanding the luminiferous ether and how light waves move. It was called the Michelson-Morley experiment. The main aim of the experiment was to understand how the ether wind affected the speed of light. But what they realized was that no matter what direction the light went, if it was against the ether wind or with the ether wind, the interference of the waves remained the same. Now this led them to the conclusion that the ether wind does not affect the speed of light, and made them question, does the ether wind actually exist? Then in 1905 came Einstein's breakthrough of special relativity, where he basically stated that the speed of light remains the same for all observers regardless of their motion. How does light connect to time? Remember that light always has a constant speed. Imagine there's a photon moving between two reflective mirrors and there's a person standing between them. Now what happens as the reflective mirrors start moving? Well, a direction path as shown on the screen is formed for your perspective, the stationary perspective. But for the person standing between those mirrors, it remains a straight line. Therefore, the distance covered by your perspective is higher. Now, the speed of light always remains constant. Therefore, if the distance goes up, time has to go up, balance the equation. This is called time dilation. But the distance of the photon also decreases, and this is called length contraction. Time increased for the stationary perspective, whereas it remained the same for the person standing between the two mirrors. This shows us that time slows down as you move faster, and it also proves that time is relative for objects moving at different velocities.